not only am I still alive, but I'm making vlogs just to prove it.
Somewhere away from here, the best mistakes they often learn. And Fahrenheit 451, you close your doors and let it burn. Yeah,
Alright, so hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode, for the first of this, hopefully, weekly series. I don't know, it's gonna be a vlog series though, and don't worry, it's not taking away from the time that I'm doing stop motion in, or at least not significantly. But it's summer now, and I'm out of school, so I'm getting back into the habit of content making, which is good. And the first portion of this video, oh, forgot to say, the series is going to be called FarVlogs, or FarVlogs. I can never pronounce it consistently. I always say either vlogs or vlogs, but never, like, consistently. I don't know. Probably some mental problem that I have. I don't know. But all I have left in the last LJEQfM Mangosteen, or not last, but in the next, newest episode of LJEQfM Mangosteen, is the voices. Yeah, I'm doing those last, which is a habit I really need to get out of. I need to record the voices first next time, but I'm not going to be doing all the voices like I have in other videos where I voiced. I actually have some people who are going to be doing other voices. Shout out to LJEQfM, who hasn't done the voices yet, but he's going to be doing the voice of LJ, because I'm sure he's a lot better at it than I am. And then Musical Dragon is going to be doing the voice of Alina. So once all of this is recorded, which is hopefully the next week, I think. I don't know, it might, I'm going on holiday soon, so it might be a couple of weeks. I don't really know. I'm hoping it's just this next week though, because I've got plenty of time, so I should be able to do it. And so that'll be coming out soon. I'm sorry it's taking me so long, but basic biotube, sorry it's taking me so long story. School, exams, stuff, life and such. But it will be coming out soon, and it's going to be a pretty good one. The series is sort of taking off now, coming in for a final epic portion. It's going to be good. I'm thinking everyone's going to like it. Hello, welcome back to the second portion of the video. It's going to have multiple portions. I cut between them just so I can remember what I'm doing, get my thoughts collected, so I'm not just like, for a couple of seconds. And so, the second portion of this vlog series is going to be mocks. And so, today's mock review, I guess, is going to be of a revamp of my self-mock to a Farathorn. Now, this is by no means final form. I'm going to change a few more things about him, but this is just a rough sketch of what I'm hoping he's going to look like. So before, he had a much simpler Toa build. He looked kind of scrawny, really. But this new one has this cool feature where take off a pin here. Sorry, taking a long. Okay, yeah, take off that pin there, and he can actually flex over on his abdomen portion. Yeah. I can't compare him, like, in the video to the old one, because I had to disassemble the old one to get the parts for this newer one. But he's a lot more flexible, he's a bit taller, a bit more proportional. There's still a few more things to round out about him. The back looks a bit weird, you can see here. If I move these arms, you'll be able to see. It's sort of spiny, I don't really like that. And his legs sort of jut out as well there, but just a couple of streamlining things, nothing huge. But he has opposable fingers like the last Toa Farathorn. Basically the same hands actually, but really the arms are about the same. It's mostly in the torso and the upper legs that there are changes. I originally had done a revamp of him, and he was so stinking tall. He was like up to my shin. He was huge, and so if I gone ahead using that, it would have been the most difficult thing to shoot with all of the other characters, because they would have been like up to his knee. It was crazy. Besides, I'm not even that tall of a person, so to have my self-mock be like freakishly tall would be a bit too much. So yeah, this is my self-mock. He wears a How, as you can tell, red How, and then alternating a gold one on occasion, but that's later in the storyline of the LJEQfM Megastine universe, so I don't want to spoil a whole lot. The color scheme is a bit weird. I know most people don't use the dark red the dark red you can see here on his arms and a bit on his legs as well, in addition to like the bright red, which is on his torso, his feet, and his mask. But it's really something that I do a lot, is I use both the darker blue, or the darker red, or the darker whatever, in addition to the lighter version of that color. I like to do weird color schemes like that, and so sure, it looks a bit weird, but it does define my characters, so this guy doesn't just look like a Tahu revamp. I don't think anyone would really say that, because he's got a lot of black on him as well. Black is really his primary color, which is weird for a Toa of Fire. But, I think it's sort of my style to do weird color schemes. Like, I even have a character that's dark green and white. Nobody does that. Looks like something out of those little Hess things that they sell, like little toy trucks with the Hess logo on them in green and white. It might just, maybe nobody knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, I have some pretty weird color schemes in my mocks, which I will be showcasing later on in this series. So, Toa Farathorn, he's not that much bigger than your average Toa. I don't really have anything to demonstrate around, but he's pretty standard Toa. Pretty good mock, probably my best I've made so far. I've made a couple of other better ones by time, streamlining things better. Like, this guy still has a couple of things to work out, but I just thought self-mock would be a good thing to open up this mock portion of the series with. Alright, welcome to the next portion of the video, and this is a portion where I'll be plugging something. I'll be saying, oh, this is cool, you should go watch it or listen to it, like music, or a television show, or a web series, or another YouTuber, or something like that. And so today I'm going to be plugging a music group, and that music group is the people who did the intro for this series, Five Iron Frenzy. Really, really cool music group. I discovered them a while ago, because it was in a Larnu Metro Nui video, one of their songs was, and I looked up the band, and I was blown away. It was the coolest things I've ever seen. But, Five Iron Frenzy is a ska and rock band. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a normal rock band, but then they also have brass instruments, and there's a bit more swingy style to it. And, I actually, if you want to check it out, I have a playlist on my channel called Ska, and it's got a lot of their songs. I highly, highly recommend that you watch it. Or watch some of their stuff. Amazing. It's, the sound is just beautiful. The lyrics are amazing. It's like the perfect blend of humor as well as depth. They actually mean something, and it's quite amazing. Everyone should listen to their music. It's awesome. That's really all I have to say. And so, yeah, watch it. It's cool. Alright, welcome back to the final portion of the video. And this is probably the least lighthearted and more heavy, more deep, because this is the portion where I'm going to be talking about my opinions. And so, sure, they might not be the most popular opinions, and if you disagree with me, please do so respectfully. It's not like it hurts my feelings or anything. It's not very scathing to be left a mean YouTube comment. If you ever really hate somebody, YouTube comments are not really like a great way to tell them so. It just doesn't work. It just feels like somebody shouted at you in all caps, and it's not cool, man. Anyhow, this portion I'll be talking about my opinions, sometimes on current events, sometimes on just things that I've suddenly noticed, or something that's been bugging me for a while, or something like that. So, even though this is going to be a rather deep portion of the video, I recommend that you still stay for it, because it's important to me that people hear this, and this is actually probably the portion of the video that has motivated me the most. Not just getting my opinions out there, but actually interacting with people about these opinions, because I want to hear what other people think, and it's just a good feeling to know that actually somebody else is hearing what you have to say. And so that's a lot of what the internet was created for, is just getting things out there. So today I'm going to be talking about basically my reasoning in my various opinions, not any specific opinion, but it's just that really I think, I actually should probably lead into this a bit, people don't really think anymore. Like, most people go about their days just kind of doing the routine and never really thinking, like, philosophically or theologically or anything like that. They just kind of live. And that's not a good way to live. It's just meaningless, really, if you just go about life like that. Also, random thing here, but I highly recommend that everybody reads the book Fahrenheit 451. Great piece of literature, very true. For people who don't live in America, like I live in America, just saying that right now, but for people who don't, Fahrenheit 451 is the greatest summary of American culture there is. Selfish, shallow, and just incredibly stupid. That's really the point that Fahrenheit 451 drives home about the way society is going. And so, I don't want to seem like apocalyptic, like some prophet who goes out in the street with a sign saying the end is near. But there is basically a tidal wave coming of stupidity. That sounds really derpy, I know, and it does sound a little weird. Does mean the same thing. Gosh, I keep doing that to myself. Okay, anyhow. It's not... completely losing it here. Trying to collect my thoughts. Okay. Think of it like this. There's... the way things used to be. People always thought that... Gosh, this is really hard to just throw out there. Okay. Give me a second to collect my thoughts. Okay, I'm back. Just needed a second there. I didn't want to bore you by just looking at a paper and trying to remember stuff. So basically the idea that I'm trying to get across here is that people have stopped thinking about everything logically. Like, often when you talk about religion and faith and things like that, people just don't think about it logically. Like, if you're an atheist, I don't hate you. Like, I'm not saying that you're so simple. It's just the way culture is today. And like, people, they see religion and they just stop thinking logically. They just, if they're an atheist, then they say, oh, Christianity or Buddhism or Taoism or Taoism is still a thing, or Islam. Oh, it's a religion. I can't try to reason with them because they're a religious person. But what I'm trying, basically the foundation for almost all of my opinions is that everything can be thought through logically. When you see religion, you don't need to just shut off and say, it's religion, can't be reasoned with. Or if you are a religious person, don't just say when somebody challenges you, oh, it's my religion, I don't need to have reasons, it's just the way it is. Because religion isn't really just about leaps of faith. But contrary to that is the fact that it's not like everything has to be proven beyond the shadow of a doubt, which is something that often people believe, is that, oh, if you can't prove it beyond the shadow of a doubt, it can't possibly be true. So, basically, you need to just think about things, not always looking to prove something, but just looking if something makes sense. If you believe something, test it. Test everything that you believe. Don't just say, oh, I believe this, you believe that, we can both be right, because that's not true. If I say, there's a wall here, and somebody else says, no, there isn't, they believe something different. They don't believe that there's a wall there, and I believe that there is. But that doesn't mean they can just walk right through the wall. It's still there. One of us is right. Maybe nobody's right. Like, say two people both disagree. One says that there's not a wall here, another one says, no, but there's a ceiling there. There's neither of those things there. There's a wall. But that doesn't mean they can both be right. If two things are contrary to each other, they can't both be right. So, coming back to what I was saying about thinking through things logically and about proving things, you don't always have to prove everything. I can't prove that I have a brain. I have never seen my brain. I have never touched my brain. I have never heard my brain. It just makes sense that I have a brain because my eyes are connected to everything else. I actually know what I'm seeing, and I know what I'm smelling, and I know what I'm tasting, and I know what I'm hearing, and so on and so forth. I can coordinate movements. I can make stop motion. So, also, going along with that, even like great scientists of the past, people might say what I'm saying, oh, that's not scientific. Yeah, I gotta be scientific about it. But even great scientists of the past have had things like that. They haven't been able to prove it. Like Einstein. He believed that the speed of light was constant. He didn't have anything huge to back it up. It just made sense. Like, it makes sense that I have a brain. And it makes sense that there's a wall here, because I can't feel the wind blowing right through. It just makes sense that there's a wall here. Even if I couldn't see this wall, it would still be there. Just like anything else. It's just the fact of the universe. So, if you just think through things logically like that, you don't always need to be finding every bit of logic. You don't need to be calculating everything. You just need to think. And so, this vlog series is going to be a way for me to show you what I think logically. And if you're going to disagree with me, I'd like you to do it logically. I'd like you to bring up arguments and such. And now I know that you might have opinions that you can't prove. But it's, for a while, it was a big thing to believe that nothing existed outside of your own self. People would just say, well, I don't believe that there even is a universe. I believe it's all an illusion. You can't actually prove that wrong. So many people have tried. You can't. If I actually were to say that, I doubt anyone would be able to prove me wrong. But the thing is about that, it's highly unlikely. And it's also impractical. If this is all there is, but it's an illusion, it might as well be real. So, just, what was the point I was getting at? Okay, need to recollect my thoughts again. Alright, hello everyone, I'm back. I finally collected my thoughts. I've had way too long to do so, though. The files for the original video that I put here corrupted, and so I'm reshooting this, but that means I've had a lot more time to think about this. And basically what I was getting at just now was that not everything needs to be proven. I was just kind of circling back there. And so if you're going to disagree with me logically, like I said, you don't have to worry about being able to prove everything, and just the logic doesn't equate to evidence. Like, evidence is, of course, logical, but logic doesn't have to always be 100% backed up. You can't prove everything. Really, all I'm trying to get at there. I'm a terrible vlogger, I know. Vlog. I don't even know which one it is. I'm just, Anyhow, that's all for today. I'm done chatting. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm glad if you've watched this far. I'm glad that you watched all of this, all 20 minutes or so of it. If you looked at 5 Iron Frenzy, or if you looked at the ska playlist on my channel, tell me what you thought of that in the comments below. And also, if you have any opinions, feedback, suggestions for upcoming LJEQfM Augustine episodes, any ideas whatsoever, put it in the comments here. This is probably one of the videos I'll check the comments the most of. So yeah, if you have any feedback whatsoever, feel free to talk about it. And yeah, if you enjoyed this series, or if you think you're going to enjoy this series, like, favorite, and if you aren't already, subscribe. And I know this has been a pretty heavy first episode, especially this opinion portion, and pretty long too. But next week I'll be taking a break from the more heavy stuff, and I'll be delving into the new Bionicle possibilities, and what I think of that, and what I think of how the fan base should react. And so, thanks for watching. See you all later.